Hello and welcome to Rise Together, NSU Fall Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Netherton, the voice of the Demons. Today we're talking about soccer and a program that is slowly making its way back into the ranks of the respectable in the Southland Conference, looking to make that next step up and into a Southland Conference championship race, as we're joined by George Van Linder and three of his players. George, I'm going to let you introduce your players, where they're from, and give us kind of your synopsis of what these three have meant to you.
Sure. This right immediately next to me is Jackie Strug. She's a senior. She transferred here from Texas Tech, and she's from the Dallas area. Next to her is our freshman, Brooke Eastberg from the Dallas area as well, freshman. And then finally, one of Natchitoches' finest, Yancey Johnson, who's a super senior and in her fifth year as a senior.
You know, one of the things that has kind of happened with this program is you came in and sort of rebuilt everything. You started from scratch, and that started with some struggles early on. But you've steadily improved. 7 wins this year, 5 wins in conference, almost making the conference tournament. As you look at the progression of this team, is it where you want it to be right now?
No, I mean, we're real excited the progress that we've made, but I think the thing is that I liked about coming here to Northwestern State and the team in general is that the idea of championships and building on the championships of the past is on everybody's mind. So I think really the focus was just work on the championships, and I think we're all going to be hungry for that, and we'll stay that way till we get one.
One of the interesting aspects about this team is it's very young. You return a ton of players, including the super senior who's coming back off a medical red shirt. When you look at the foundation that is starting to be built for this team, what does the future hold now?
Well, we're excited. I think, again, the future is bright. The younger players played a key role this year in our team. We were lucky to have a lot of seniors who could help kind of guide and make that first year of transition for college soccer better for all of them. But we're really excited about that. Our younger players are going to have that responsibility, and I think they welcome it.
All right, so we have one mic for all three players, and I promised Brooke I would not go first with her. So Yancey, we're going to actually start with you. As the super senior, as someone who's been around this program for a while and been through the transition now, what do you feel like your role is in terms of being a senior leader and bringing up players like Brooke, young players, and trying to get them to understand what Lady Demon soccer is all about?
Yes, I've seen this program grow, and I feel that, especially this year, I saw something that was new that I've never seen before, and that was that the whole team really cared, and a genuine care whenever we didn't make the tournament this year. And I thought that was really heartwarming to see that. Some of the players I didn't talk to for weeks because they wouldn't talk. They were just so upset, and I thought, that means that they really want it next year. So just seeing that, I know that it's going to be better next year. I know that we're going to make it because of that. We have so many. Our junior class this year, it seemed that they cared just as much as the seniors, and usually it's the senior year that people really put heart into it.
You kind of have an interesting story, maybe the most interesting story on the team, because the players are far flung. I mean, we're talking overseas, Canada, a lot of players from Texas. Yet you're a native. You're from right here in Natchitoches and grew up watching Lady Demon soccer. What does it mean to you to be able to don the uniform, having been someone who grew up as a lifelong fan?
It was my dream to play as a Demon, and it's just it's been wonderful. It was just a dream come true to sign with Northwestern and be here as a Demon and be on the field, and my first minutes on the field were amazing, and just growing up through it, and it's just been wonderful.
All right, we're going to transition to Jackie now. We're going to put her in the hot seat with the microphone. You were a transfer from Texas Tech, and I know that's got to be a difficult decision because you think, my heart's in Lubbock, that's where I'm going, I'm a Red Raider, I'm going to be there. What goes into the thought process when you decide this isn't the right fit for me, I need to find a new place to go? Will all my academics, credits transfer? What's that like going through that transfer process?
It was a lot to deal with. It was an emotional process, and it was I had a lot to worry about with academics and soccer, and when it's not a right fit, you just really want to find the right fit, and I was so lucky to have found that fit with Coach George, and it was kind of funny how it all happened, but I'm just really happy that it did. So.
What do you feel like? I mean, you're kind of the anchor of the defense at that center back position. What do you feel like as the defense has started to come along? I mean, you had fantastic play in goal this year. Where do you feel like the defense is, and where does it need to progress to?
I feel like we progressed a lot this year, especially in the defense. We started off with a couple games where we were struggling, but we really brought it together. and we had an amazing goalkeeper this year. I know we're going to do great with that next year, and I think we're just going to keep going with that progress we made and keep continuing it into next season.
All right, Brooke, it's now your turn. Actually, a mass comm major, so this should be a breeze for you. No worries here at all. Coming in as a freshman and making the transition into the college lifestyle, not only as a player, but also because, look, I remember I was a freshman. I didn't play athletics, but it was a whirlwind when I got in there, just trying to adapt to a new schedule, the freedom, knowing I had to wake myself up every morning to go to class. What's it been like for you, not only having to deal with the academic side of things, making sure you go to class, but also dealing with being an athlete?
Being an athlete honestly hasn't been that bad, because when you're in season, you have to take care of business, and so that's all you think about. And so now that I'm out of season, I feel like it's harder for me to kind of keep on track. But since in season you are on such a tight schedule, then you have to take care of business. When
I guess there would be a lot more rigidity. You tied for the team lead in scoring at points and goals. What's it been like transitioning for you to have success at this level, coming from the high school ranks where obviously you scored a lot, now you get into the college ranks and you continue to find the net? How's that been for you?
It's been really fun. High school's a lot different, and I like playing with a bunch of girls who all have so much heart for something, because we all had the same goal of winning conference. And it was just a lot of fun, and the competition's so much higher that it makes you a better player overall too.
Speaking of winning conference, George, this is a team that was not far removed from the conference tournament, a half game out, as we talked about making that progress. What's the next step to getting into the conference tournament and also ultimately challenging for a conference championship?
Sure. I think a lot of it was just the hard work. There's always that road less traveled, or the requirements of what championship teams have. And I think all the players today spoke about it a little bit in terms of just having that heart and understanding what it takes. I think we kind of got a taste of what's needed to get there. Then we also had that sour taste at the end of the season of disappointment. And so I think there's a big energy and a fire there. And I think that's really the first thing when you go bring in a team like that and try to get there, is that you want those people who are hungry, and they are, and they can feel it. And so I think that's really what excites us about the future.
Brooke, as a freshman coming in, obviously there have been some trying times in the last few years for the senior class especially. What was it like to try to come in and infuse some different energy into this group and maybe try to provide a little bit of a different outlook going in?
Well, watching their games in the past, I knew that they weren't really struggling. They were all close games. It's not like they were getting killed. And so I wasn't that nervous, but coming in, I just wanted to try to do the best I could to get us where we wanted it. I know we have a lot of great players coming in, so we're going to have a really good future.
What's the next step for you personally? How do you get better next year?
I want to score more and be more of a team leader type up top, because most of the girls I'll be playing with, besides Yancey and another girl, will be freshmen.
All right, Yancey, same question. As you move forward now and you're coming back off of the medical, what's the future look like for you? What do you feel like this Demon soccer team looks like next year?
Like I said before, the heart is genuine this year, and I didn't see that before, more so than ever this year. And we always look to Jackie in the back. We were struggling. She's a chief back there, so whenever we were struggling in the beginning, we all looked to Jackie, and poor Jackie has to take all the load, and she fixed it. So I feel like next year she's going to be there. She'll be, our rock. And then up top, Brooke scored more than I did in my freshman year. And just seeing that, it was freshmen all up top, and they took care of business. And I just think that I've played with a few of the girls coming in over summer camps, and they just look really solid and skillful, and I just know it's going to be good.
Jackie, she mentioned you kind of having to shoulder a little bit of the leadership role on the back end. Do you feel like next year you can be relieved of a little of that, or do you want to take on more of that as you try to guide this team forward?
I guess I never think of it either way. Every game I just want to go in and put everything I have and play for these girls, because there's really nothing better than that.
George, let's talk about what's coming in now in terms of recruiting,
Sure.
New players that are coming in. What really excites you moving forward?
Well, what excited us is we had a huge group of seniors that were leaving. We had almost 8 players who are seniors this year, and the biggest concern, of course, is always worrying about, can you replace that group, and can you hopefully replace that group and not have that little learning curve or that chance where you have to rebuild. And we felt like the freshmen this year really took a lot of responsibility on that. So we feel like that's going to kind of help ease the burden for our incoming freshmen. And I think with someone of Yancey's experience, she'll be able to give them the guidance that they need. I think we all realize that if the new players are going to help, we're going to need them to help us get where we need to go. But at the same time, we know the players here can help lead us that way and get us to our goal.
What is your goals for these three, especially because they are team leaders, scoring leaders, team leaders, these kind of people that are going to pull everyone else along? What is your expectations for these three?
Sure. I think it's kind of twofold. For our two seniors, we want to have the goals and expectations for them are to have the type of season that they hope they can end their career with, and something they can be proud of. And they've certainly each had a great career if they had to walk away today. But again, they're both real hungry for a championship. So I think everybody wants to win it for them, and win it for the seniors and the people of the past is obviously a conference championship. So I think that's what we want from there. And then with Brooke, I think we want to kind of make the goal is let's make this year, even though she was our leading scorer, let's make this her worst year. And can she build on this and make this not just a kind of a freshman sensation kind of thing, but make this a step of many things to great things for the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you coming in, Jackie Strug. Brooke Eastbrook. I knew I was going to mess that name up before it was all over with. Yancey Johnson, George Van Linder. This has been the NSU Lady Demons soccer team. Obviously, 4 more wins in conference play, right on the cusp of the conference tournament. Moving forward, higher things to come for this group. I'm Patrick Netherton. You've been watching Rise Together NSU Fall Sports.